Hello and welcome.
On behalf, I'd just like to shout out all our mums, grandmas, aunties, all of the above for all the support they give us in our football career. So this one's for the mums.
Good. Hello and welcome to the Gardens. Hello, welcome to the Gardens. Hello. Yep, lovely. Hello, welcome to the Gardens here today on Mother's Day, the home of the Wallsend Red Devils. We're on here on Bar TV Sports. The coverage of the held Women's Premier League and what should be an absolute blockbuster round 10 matchup as South Wallsend come to visit here in the first Wallsend derby in the league of the year. And of course here on Mother's Day is also happy Mother's Day to all. I hope you've all had a fantastic day, whatever you may have been doing. And hopefully it's only going to get better with an absolutely brilliant game between these two local rivals. The hosts today have started off the season rather well and have surprised quite a few people as they sit inside the top four. But they've got the defending champions Merewether nipping at their heels, so gaining a win today will be very vital for them. However, the Wolfies from South Wallsend have been extremely impressive as well. They sit just in third points, only 3 points ahead of Wallsend though. So today everything is at stake in this first rivalry match of the season. Thank you for joining us here on Bar TV Sports. My name is Quentin Connors, also known as Q, bringing you today's match. I will be joined shortly by Libby Copus-Brown, Wallsend's star. She's injured at the moment, but she will be joining me in just a moment. But like I said, a very important game for both teams today in collecting all 3 points. And as the teams ready themselves to get going here today, South Wallsend look to be kicking off. I will run through the lineups for you guys today. We'll start with the home side. Number 1, Danielle Redding in goals. Number 3 is Danielle Nickel. Number 4, Sophie O'Brien, the captain. Number 2, Alesha Clifford. Number 8, Jessica Evans. Number 13, Laura Hall. Number 7, Georgia Little. Number 23, Sophie Phillips. Number 9 is Kayla Pisani. Number 22, Holly Ayton. As well as seen as well, Brianna Tippett also starting in number 24 for Wallsend. South Wallsend, number 1 in goals is going to be Jessica Sanderson. Number 4, Ash Brautigan. Number 2, Gab Deacon. Number 3, MJ Mason, Mary Jane Mason. Number 15, Kirsten Pierce. Number 10, Eliza Tuppett. Number 9, Madison Thornton. Number 12, Kobe Ferguson. Number 6, Alice Munro. Number 5, Erin Wilson. Number 14, Callista Hunter. Those are the starting lineups for today's game. And we are underway here. South Wallsend playing in the yellow and red with the grey shorts, while Wallsend, they are in the red and white, the famous red and white of the Red Devils, running from right to left on your screens. Quite a hot day today here at the Gardens, at Birmingham Gardens, Wallsend's famous home ground, and the sun going to be setting as well as this game goes on, so hopefully doesn't play too much of a part today. But there's Pisani now into the middle of the field. South Wallsend with it on the far edge. Looking for a searching ball in, but doesn't find anything there in the end. Brautigan looking for a ball over the top. Redding's going to collect it though, and I am actually joined now by Libby Copus-Brown.
How you going?
You come after being the coach of the 20s today, the reserves team.
Yeah, finally got the win.
Well, thank you for coming on to well, I should say welcome to Bar TV Sports. I'm not sure if you've commentated before,
I
but
haven't. This is the first time.
well, it should be fantastic to have you on board. Obviously, usually out on the field today for the Red Devils, but
Much rather be there.
carrying a bit of an injury. Well, I'll ask you as well. I mean, what's your thoughts heading into this one? Obviously, as a Wallsend derby, it's always a good game to play in, I can imagine, for yourself and for the team. I mean, what are you kind of thinking from this one today? How it might go?
Yeah, look, I think whoever brings it on the day is going to be the winner today. I think if our girls play the best that they can, I think we can take them out. But then in saying that, if we drop off for a few minutes, then I think that they could put a few away. So we want to be careful and not switch off at any time.
Well, both teams, as I said earlier, have started off strong as the ball knocked down and behind, and it's going to be a bit hard to see on that far side of the field where the sideline ends and the field meets, but try our best. Sprinklers going on at the far side, you can see as well, for the Greyhound track. Looking in behind me, that one's going to be too long. Just going to let that one run over the edge. Alesha Clifford, former South Wallsend player, actually, joined your team this season.
First time they've versed, I think.
Well, there's a few players that have switched clubs over the off-season, so there's a bit of a rivalry going on the field there as well, as unable to control that one and bring it down. Hunter throws it in. The referee says no free kicks there, play on. Brautigan now putting pressure on. Pisani just not sure. Yeah, it's going to be her throw in. Wasn't sure if it was going to be her throw in. Hunter now, she finds Brautigan. Brautigan doing all to keep it, and she wins a free kick in the end as well. One of those players that have had such a good start to the season, Ash Brautigan.
Yeah, she's a quality player.
Scored a bucket load of goals already. I think she's on 13 from the season. Only just 8 games that she's played. Is that free kick not really finding anyone on her team, although I'll be able to turn there. Gab Deacon looking to get in behind the defence. That one's just going to stay in on the far side. And South Wallsend win the tussle. Holly Ayton, one of the new women joining the side recently, only signed last week for your team, Libby.
Yeah, she played her first game against her old club, Warners Bay. She's a great addition to have in the midfield.
Well, she's been thrown straight into the fire, hasn't she? Had to verse her old team in the first game, and now she's got a Wallsend derby to contend with.
She's handling it well.
As I said earlier on, South Wallsend sitting in third at the moment. Wallsend just in behind in fourth. A strong start as Ash Brautigan tries to get a foot on the ball, but end up collecting it once again, but she can't beat the Wallsend defence, and it's cleared down the field, trying to turn the Wolves around. Hunter's going to pick it up on close to the sideline, but she's let that run a bit too far there. Some good pressure given there by Jess Evans. Lower Hall. Pisani trying to flick it on, but it just... Lower Hall giving that one away there. Strong battle there. Not sure if that was a free kick.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Gab Deacon being judged to have been fouled anyway, but Libby, as we said, you'd love to be out there.
It's definitely hard to watch.
How's the injury going? What's the update? How long can we expect you to be sitting on the sideline for?
I've still got about maybe 4 or 6 weeks left off the pitch, so not counting. But yeah, I'm hoping to be back next time we verse Adamstown.
It's a bit of a kerfuffle going on in the box there, but Wallsend able to contend with it, and now keeping it in and just then knocking it over the sideline is Tippett, I believe it was. So now maybe try and get a cross in now from this position, Southie, but they're going to get a corner instead anyway. Tupper there trying to get a cross in. But as I said, always a tough game between Southie and Wallsend. You've had a lot of history over the a lot of recent history. Obviously, South Wallsend only joining the competition the last few years, but it's been some heavy games being played between you two. Although Wallsend have probably got the the edge over them in the last couple of seasons. I don't think Southie have won too much as the corner kick comes in. It's a good header. Reading does well to dive to her right. Collects the save, but as I was saying, Wallsend probably had the edge. Only lost twice to South Wallsend actually in the history. There's a chance here for Wallsend. There's a lot of numbers in behind here. There's a one-on-one situation. Laura Hall. It's saved, but it's going to hit the post. Well, I thought that might have just found its way in the back of the net.
That would have been handy.
Took a little touch there from Sanderson in goals. That was all it needed as well, just enough to deflect it to the left. Corner kick to come for Wallsend. A great counter-attacking play there. Is now looking on the penalty spot. It's a good corner. Pisani, can she find a way back into the box? Taking on the defence and doing well, but Tupper able to, in the end, give it away. Tipper's going to try and get it back in there. She did well. And Nickel now, passing over to Georgia Little. Ayton on the ball now. She's going to go for goal. Bit of an ambitious effort there from Holly Ayton, and goes well high and wide. South Wallsend never won a game at the Gardens when they've played here in the last few seasons.
Let's hope to keep it that way.
For your team's sake. Because it's Sanderson, a bit of a bobble there and casual with it, but obviously under control. They're still trying to play out the back, from the back now, South Wallsend, and in the end they just knock it over the line. Madison Thornton just saying enough with that. A bit risky there. You can see the ground a bit chopped up around that 6-yard box mark, so playing a bit of havoc for Sanderson in goal. Tippett now trying to get in the box. It's cleared away from Thornton. That one's going to be ruled out. Callista Hunter going to win the throw in anyway, though. Again, some of the passes towards the back, a bit wayward, but South Wallsend getting away with it at the moment. We've seen already, for those who've seen, I guess, the WPL, at the moment South Wallsend haven't been played on Bar TV live just yet this year. This is the first time they are featuring on Bar TV, but they do like to play out from the back. Sally Ayton just tries to get a toe in there. Deacon wins that throw in there. Deacon again. Oh, it's actually Tupper there. Nice battle there. Georgia Little winning it. She won that ball and was able to keep it away from Mason, MJ Mason, who's scored 6 already this year as well. She's been kept herself busy on the score sheet in the goal scoring department so far this year. As have you, Libby, you've scored quite a few when you've been out there. Going all right in the goal scoring this year.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm on actually. It's nice to be able to score a few goals.
Well, I have in my notes that you've scored 9 so far this season, so not bad as a ball trying to go over the top to Georgia Little. I think she was offside anyway if it had landed to her. But it does mean that someone else on your team is going to have to pick up the goal-scoring duties today. We know Alesha Clifford has scored a couple already this season as well.
Yeah.
She's got 4. Pisani and Olivia Kennedy's both got 3, but Kennedy not playing today. She's also out.
Laura Hall can put a few away. She's got a good shot on her.
Almost scored in the first 5 minutes or so of this game.
Georgia Little can be dangerous as well.
Pisani trying to maybe flick that one on to her fellow attackers. South Wallsend look to be keeping the majority of possession at the moment, however, have looked the better in terms of the final third. Had that early chance from a counter-attacking play and looked dangerous when they're there. putting pressure on the Southie defence. Tupper now getting it into Deacon. Deacon trying to get a toe in. Instead, it's O'Brien. That one unable to stay in the field of play there for Sophie Phillips. It's a nice little play there from Tupper. That was a Tupper to chip it over the top, and some good pressure there from Wallsend now, though. Georgia Little trying to get at the defence, unable to keep it. Bit of back and forth football at the moment.
Yeah, it's been pretty even at the moment.
And now trying to get a ball in behind there. He's going to let that one run and safely lands in the hands of Danielle Redding. And usually the person in the middle of the field trying to control the play. They're without you today. So, I mean, who do you think is going to have to step up in your stead in terms of that role? Just trying to control the passes and play around from the midfield.
I think Jess Evans is really important in the midfield. She holds there well as a 6, and Laura Hall can run off and be a little bit more of the playmaker. And Holly also gives us a bit more cover in defence as well. So they've got it covered, I believe.
It was in Holly Ayton now. I've been shaping for a goal, or shot I should say, but shot there. It's the South Wallsend defender. I'm not sure who that was, but one's stayed in. Battle there from Ferguson and Ayton, and now trying to get it in behind.
Southie have got a fair bit of pace up front. We'd want to be careful to keep them out there.
So Wilson now is going to turn it back around, and a fair bit of flair as well. We've already seen Gab Deacon, Ash Brautigan, we know when she's going forward as well, can be extremely dangerous. That one just going wide is something that your defence is going to have to contend with. Those players that do like to, get the ball at their feet and take on the defence rather than maybe just playing on through balls. I'll ask you as well, in terms of opponents, you've played with a lot of these girls over the last few years or so. I mean, who for South Wallsend is going to be the girl to watch, the one you're going to have to focus on and try and shut down?
I think Ash Brautigan. She's a great player. She's had experience in the W League. She always gives her all, and if she gets an opportunity to shoot, she generally puts it away.
Yeah, well, as she showed, she scored 4 goals last week.
Exactly.
I think she's sitting around 3rd of the overall Golden Boot race.
Yeah, it's good to see her enjoying her football again.
Just behind Tara Andrews and Jenna Kingsley as well from New Lambton and Warners Bay. Also W League players, your W League teammates for the Newcastle Jets.
Yeah, they're doing well. Unfortunately, we didn't get the win against them last week. Close game, though.
And a stellar season you guys had, really. I mean, it was, in parts, I should say, the stellar season. Looked very good in glimpses, and then some other times just maybe lacking that killer blow. But
yeah,
ball comes into the box now and unable to pass the defence as South Wallsend now putting the pressure on. Is going to be chipped over the sideline. But yourself, a pretty good season. Scored your first W League goal, which ended up being, I think it was the goal of the month as well.
Yeah, that was a pretty good feeling. Hopefully I can get a few more next season.
Well, yeah, like I said, quite a good season from you in terms of that anyway, because quite a few good season from a lot of the local girls who are playing in the competition.
It's good to see the young girls coming up as well from the Emerging Jets program. A couple of them got their break as well. When Tessa Tamplin, she scored her first goal as well.
The chance there goes begging, it seems, for Wallsend. Sophie Phillips, it looked like she was in a bit of a chance there to probably cross it back into the box, maybe cut it back or cross it across the face of goal, but instead just towed it into the side netting. It's been a while since South Wallsend, as I said, have actually beaten Wallsend in the Herald WPL.
It was a draw last time we came against each other, wasn't it?
It was.
I think there was a fair few goals in that game as well.
Yes, 3-all draw, 1-all draw as well last season. In the other game, you guys won 3-2, so no wins for Southie, despite finishing high on the ladder. And obviously, derby games like this are always games like that.
It's always a tough one against Southie.
Last time both teams played here, it was 1-1 between these two sides. Obviously, Wallsend play between Wallsend Park as that one goes over the byline there from Gab Deacon. Going to be a goal kick to come. A few games been played at the Gardens though before. Got a few more this season than I think in previous years, but
yeah, this is our first one here this season so far. It's good to be back at the Gardens.
So Aiton now. She battled away and Pisani picks up the ball instead. She knocks it a bit wider. Georgia a little bit of a foot race there with, I think it's
Alice, is it? Alice Munro?
Yes. The sun's starting to set a little bit in there. It's getting a little bit glary over the far side of the field, especially on that wet track now from the sprinklers, which is a bit of a pain
Makes
for
it
our
a bit difficult.
Free kick there, though, for Wallsend.
We could really use this.
A good position as well. Nice to...
We've got Fatty's height. It's where most of our goals have come from.
Good chance to get it into the box. There's bodies in there as well. Aiton, O'Brien, Clifford there. Ball knocks it in. There's a little chip over the top, but Sanderson comes and collects it. Now she smacked it down the ground. It's a good kick out of the hands as well, but unable to find a flick on there was MJ Mason. Tippett finding herself on the other far side of the field now, and Georgia Little does well to give it back to her. She's going to cross it over now. Pisani. She was unable to chest it down. I think she was trying to let it run across her, but didn't work in the end. Yeah, Clifford just knocking that one straight over the sideline. As we said, quite a few players that have played for both of these clubs, especially in recent times as well. Alice Munro, one is your former teammate last year.
She's still my mate.
Just dropped the team part. It's
Exactly.
Brautigan now. Goes on the left boot, but doesn't hit it cleanly. We said Alesha Clifford and Liv Kennedy as well.
Yeah, there's a fair few actually.
Quite a few in the younger grades as well, changing over sides, so only adds to the rivalry, which is always good. There's a nice turn there. Phillips thought she might have gone on the goal there, but decided otherwise. Evans now pops it into the box. Pisani with it at her feet. Georgia Little was unmarked on the back stick there. They could have found her, but not to be. Now Wilson, she does well to beat the defender and still might have it. In the end, it's knocked away. Holly Aiton now finding Georgia Little, who's still unmarked on that far side, and then tries to get a nice ball in behind. Pisani is falling now to Hall, I think. Hall gets a toe in and make it 1-0 for Wallsend.
We deserved that, I think. I think it was coming.
Well, a nice little ball from Georgia Little to get it in behind the defence. Almost a 50-50 challenge between Jess Sanderson and Kayla Pisani.
Kayla did well to get a touch there.
Game scored by Wallsend, number 13, Laura Hall.
And the rebound just popping up really nicely for Laura Hall, who came very close to scoring in the first few minutes of the game. It took a good save from Sanderson to keep her out, but that time Sanderson was nowhere to be seen because she already came out and made a save. She just had an empty goal, but Laura Hall did well to control it and put it in the net, and the Devils lead in this one. And maybe proving that they're still South Wallsend's bogey team of sorts. Still maybe continue the streak over them.
Still a fair few minutes left. Don't want to speak too early.
Yes,
especially in this competition.
It's Jeff Evans trying to knock it a bit wider. So 1-0 in this one. South Wallsend needing to work their way back into the game. They haven't really had too many goal-scoring chances just yet to be in this game. Wallsend looking the better in terms of that final third, but they are keeping the ball a bit more than, or attempting to keep the ball a bit more than Wallsend. Hunter now trying to find the feet of her forward. A good turn there for Mason. She might go for goal. Fakes it instead. Still has it at a foot. And just too high that time on that shot.
She did well there. That was a good turn. I think she's left-footed as well.
Turning the defenders at 6s and 7s. She's, as I said, got 6 goals. MJ Mason for South Wallsend. Gemma Harrison as well, scoring 6, but she's
out today, isn't she?
Yeah, she's not on the field today, unfortunately, for the Wolves, and neither is Gemma Simon, the current Matilda, as well as your Newcastle Jets teammate.
I think she'd be preparing for the World Cup. I hope so anyway. I hope she makes the squad.
Yes, we can't wait for that when the World Cup comes, and hopefully coming to Australia in 2023. We can only hope. Brautigan does well to keep the ball, and can she keep going with it? She's on the ground now, and in the end, Phillips gets control. Might have taken a bad touch there. She does. Knocked off the ball there by Tupper. At the moment, it seems when South Wallsend are going forward, there's not too many midfielders really helping out those front three.
Yeah, they're sitting rather deep.
Almost just putting it up and say, you guys try and do something. Wilson, she's going to turn it back around. A long ball there, finding Hunter.
Kobe Ferguson's also a great player. She's very good with her passes.
A nice ball in there. Good header as well from Mason. Just wasn't enough away from, too far away from Reading in goal. Kirsten Pearce there getting a toe in, obviously former W League player as well. Playing at the back for South Wallsend this season. Also no Gabrielle Brody for South Wallsend or Sass Seaborn. 2 players they would definitely like to have in their lineup for a game like this.
Lots of pace with them too.
Both teams missing players for this one as the ball crosses the sideline. As I said, only 2 Derby wins for South Wallsend since joining the competition in 2015. Clifford now just banging it down the field again. Looking for Pisani. She got on the end of it and now wins a throw-in as well after that. Last time South Wallsend did beat Wallsend was back in June of 2016, so almost 2 years since South Wallsend have actually beaten your team.
That's news to me. Didn't realise it was that long ago.
We obviously got the round 3 catch-up game as well to come in the next coming weeks. You know, it's early June that one's to be played.
Yeah, I don't think I'll make it quite back for that game. Wish I was.
Well, we can only hope. Positive thoughts. So Tupper finds. And she gets a little ball in behind. There's a great ball. It's Brautigan. And Reading's going to jump on the end of it after that. A good save there. I thought Brautigan was going to just push that to the side of Reading, but able to get in the way. Now a handball turning the South Wallsend, should say, team around.
It's important we don't switch off at the back. As I said, they've got lots of pace up front, so.
Which is a fine example just there. Just one ball in behind, and it can change so quickly. Jess Evans doing well to try and pressure Mason, but in there Mason gives it away. Ball now. Over the top by Nichols and Pisani. She's done well to bring it down to her feet. Now she goes for the shot. Did all the hard work there, but then just couldn't get the shot away like she would have wanted. When you're preparing for this game, Libby, I mean, what were some of the things that you guys were talking about leading into this one, knowing that you're facing, you know, South Wallsend and the fact that it's a derby? Yeah,
look, I think, like I said at the start, it was whoever's going to come out on the day, and we just needed to make sure that we came out raring, ready to go, making sure we win those 1%ers. And so far, I think we've done that quite well.
It's also been a terrific start for your team this season, because I think a lot of people pegged down the top 4 almost before the season had even begun, that it would be New Lambton, Warners Bay, South Wallsend and Merewether. But you guys proving otherwise, and you're inside the top 4, and now you're beating South Wallsend as well.
Yeah, I think I'd rather be the underdog, to be honest.
Well, it's a tag that's serving you guys quite well so far this season.
Yeah. Kayla Pisani is a great addition to our squad as well. Former Emerging Jets player.
She's already scored 3 goals this season.
She's very young. She's got a good future ahead of her, that girl.
We've already seen her have an impact in this game already. She was the one that put that ball in. Well, actually, the one that was almost on the ball, I should say. Georgia Little was the one that passed it in. Jess Evans just wallops it down the field. Laura Hall was unable to control it, and now South Wallsend back with their foot on the ball. Owen Wilson having to turn back around again to find Pierce. Munro unable to get away there. The sun's starting to come
it's quite
down
warm.
down onto the grandstand now. It's a
Good
bit of
tackle
a pain,
there.
but Jess Evans now. She did well with the tackle there, but I'm going to put it through, and it's going to be a handball on Georgia Little, the referee, pointing the wrong way there, confusing us for a little second there. We might have to adjust our commentary box of sorts as the sun keeps coming down. Might make it a bit hard to see. Go into South Wallsend there. As we're talking about your Wallsend team, Libby, they've actually had in the last few weeks been going well as well. Obviously lost last week to Warners Bay, but before that won your straight 4 games. You won 4 from 5 at the moment.
Yeah, we've been
So
doing
nice
quite
little run
well.
you've been on, yes.
Yeah, I think we could have taken Warners Bay, to be honest. I think we played better than them in the first half, but we just switched off in the second.
It's Redding, she's been collected there, and she's going to deservingly get a free kick for that one.
Danielle did well there.
Put herself into a bit of a dangerous spot. Threw caution to the wind on it.
Just having a little bit of a stretch now.
She's all good, and she's back up onto her feet once again, taking the free kick. South Wallsend the last week, they've been on fire as well. They won 6-2 against Adamstown. Before that, they won 9-0 and 6-0. So
Big scores.
plenty of goals they've been scoring as well. 21 from their past 3 games. They're coming into this one. In the last 3, they're averaging 7 a game.
Wow.
So far, kept scoreless. Sophie Phillips with it. She's been dispossessed by Hunter, but tip it in the end. Vita getting the ball. Switched over. Jess Evans. Over to Nickel. Georgia Little with it. She's going to try and hook it into the box to Pisani. Didn't find her head. But in the end, Sanderson with it in her hands anyway. Speaking of goals scored, both teams as well haven't been kept scoreless so far this season. There's a ball that's going to trickle over the byline. Both teams have yet to be kept scoreless in a game this season. Like I said, Wallsend have kept 2 clean sheets so far in the competition, but South Wallsend actually lead the competition in clean sheets, kept 4. Quite a good defence as well as Jess Evans finds a foot of Pisani. Pisani still going with it. Now moves to the right and has a shot.
Oh, lucky. Keeper did well there. Good save.
Sanderson collects it and almost almost made the dive before the ball even came to her. She was already on the ground waiting for it, preempted it. Strong work there from Brautigan. Now she's going to try a little chip over the top, looking for Deacon. Wasn't sure. The assistant said she was onside. Wasn't sure from where we were sitting, but didn't matter nonetheless. Wallsend starting to get their foot on the ball a bit more now and play a bit more football to feet, as now Pisani putting the pressure on. It's put away by Thornton. Brautigan, she's got Tibbet coming right up the back of her. And she's a bit ginger there too, it seems. Brautigan still on the ground. Just in front of the visitors' bench area. She's still on the ground. I'm not sure if something has gone wrong there for her on that collision. Some of the players coming over to get a bit of a drinks break.
Quite hot out there.
Yes, it does seem like it's a bit hot, especially a bit of a surprise though, because it was a bit cold coming in. I've actually
it was cold this morning.
Bought a jumper thinking it was going to be a bit
so
cold.
So did I.
Referee saying what's going on. It's not a drinks break, but Ash Brautigan taking one for the team almost. Just
I think that benefited both teams, to be honest.
Ash Brautigan staying on the field as well. They haven't forced her from the field. It's a bit of a surprise.
Might have been a cork.
Let's play on as usual. Back onto the field once again, and Monroe does well there and finds Wilson. Wilson loses it. Bit of a tussle over there now on the far side. Looks like Georgia Little's gone down, and she's wasn't too happy about it either, it seemed. She didn't receive a free kick for it. Another tussle going on between Brautigan and I think it was Clifford over that far side. Maybe a bit of that rivalry tension starting to show between the two sides, which is always nice to see from a neutral standpoint.
I hope it doesn't get too scrappy though.
These are the games you look forward to though, aren't they? That's the kind of scrap you love to have, isn't it, when you're playing in a derby game, isn't it?
I guess you could say that. They do call it a welfare.
So maybe a chance here to cross it into the box and make a bit of a goal-scoring opportunity for South Wallsend. The ball's just not a good one. It goes straight over the byline and no one's going to get ahead to that. Still Wallsend winning 1-0 here at the Gardens, here on Bar TV Sports. Broadcasting the held WPL for the third time this season. Brilliant to be able to bring you the best of women's football in the Hunter region. It's a bit of a searching ball for Alesha Hunter and just knocked over the sideline by Phillips. Saw a bit of back and forth between yourself and Hunter for the in preparation for this game on Facebook between you two.
It's nice to know we're still friends off the pitch.
saying to get the spears ready.
Just going along with the warfare comments.
No, it's good to see that it can be competitive on the field, but friendly off the field is what you want, isn't it?
It's the best way to be.
It's a throw in now and flicked on there by Phillips, but flicked on to no one.
I think we really need to hold Southie out until half-time. Hopefully get another goal.
That would change the game a little bit, wouldn't it?
1-0 is a very dangerous score.
We know that South Wallsend, as we highlighted before, as a free kick's be given away there. Just highlighted before how good South Wallsend can be in front of goals and have been this season. So even a 2-0 scoreline, you still need to keep attacking. You still need to keep scoring against a team like this to put them away. Chipped into the box there. People were trying to just hopefully let it run, and I think it was Wilson got a crossover in the end, but collected by Reading. Still no real chances from South Wallsend, and other than maybe Ash Brautigan, you could say, actually. And that setting sun definitely in our eyes now. Not the best of. They obviously didn't take into account when they built the Gardens that Bar TV commentators. Laura Hall with the ball now at her feet. Trying to get at the South Wallsend defence. She's got a look at numbers in front of her. Aiton with it now. She's going to turn it back to the defence, but then swings it out wide. Tippett's got a fair bit of time on her hands. She's going to use that to cross into the box. It's a good cross. Finds Pisani. She's still got it. Put it back up in the air again. Lewis somehow found it with her feet. Again, she goes for the second. And well, it's gone in, but the offside flag is up.
It's a corner though, is it?
No, it's not gone in, but the offside flag was up as well. So, or maybe the referee was calling a goal kick. Nonetheless, it's not a goal kick, it's not a goal, and it's not offside, it's a corner. So a bit of confusion there. As a corner kick comes in, I'm not sure what to make of all that just there. Laura Hall now trying to knock it back in. It's going to be a goal kick nonetheless, and after all that, I think many across the ground thought there was a goal considering that it hit the water bottle, but it's usually the goalkeeper's water bottle is inside the goal.
Inside the goal, yeah. That's what confused me. It's good to see Brianna Trappett getting some first grade time. She's actually from the reserve grade. That was from her bit of play there, crossing the ball in.
She's been good as well. She's been holding her own against some of the best.
Yeah, she doesn't look out of place at all.
I guess some of the best attackers in the competition as well. It's good work there from Pisani. She doesn't win a corner in the end. That's going to be a throw-in. And so still 1-0 Wallsend, despite a bit of a confusion just prior. Sorry for our viewers at home that may have going to get a bit confused like we were. Pisani now. There's no one really in the box for her to cross it to, but Sophie Phillips now maybe there, but goal kick regardless. We are midway through this first half of football here at the Gardens. Bordering on the 30-minute mark.
Is that all?
Quite a frantic game, though, to begin with, in some moments where both teams just battling for possession and others where it's just end-to-end stuff. And I wouldn't say neither are really on top of the other at the moment.
Yeah, it has been pretty end-to-end. I think we've got a few more goal-scoring opportunities, though. Just got to put them away.
Yeah, I definitely agree that your Wallsend side, Libby, have been...
Trying not to be biased.
Well, they've definitely been, I think, in the opposition's dangerous area. Than South Wallsend have really, however, South Wallsend have kept the ball a bit more, I'd say, as this one just goes to Sanderson. South Wallsend have probably kept, I'd say, a bit more of the
Possession-wise, yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, we don't have possession stats just yet for the LWPL, but if I was going to say, I'd say 53% to 47, maybe.
Yeah. Not much in it.
No. Clifford just praying for the ball to go over the sideline. Instead, she clipped it, but Gabby Deacon is...
Someone's down again.
A bit worse for wear on the sideline there. I'm not sure exactly what's happened there between Clifford and Deacon, whether it was from Deacon's... or from Clifford's foot, I should say, or if Deacon has just fallen over and rolled something. She doesn't look good, though, at the moment. Hasn't got back to her feet just yet. And the players, once again, having another drink break. Trying to escape the heat. And seems the physio might be saying that.
I think they've just called for the stretcher.
Oh, this is not good signs at all. Not entirely sure what's wrong down there, but there are a few coming to have a look and help out at the moment.
Let's hope she's all right.
Momentary pause here at the Gardens. Gabby Deacon injured at the moment.
Might have got a knock to her ankle or something.
Well, yes, I'm not sure if it was a knock or if she's twisted it funny or what has been the case, but regardless, Gabby Deacon doesn't look like she's going to be continuing this game from what we can see so far. Wallsend have congregated back into a circle to have a bit of a team chat of sorts, while Cass Wright is on the sideline for South Wallsend, giving a couple of maybe suggestions to her team going forward. We are just about midway through, just over midway through of the first half, and now some more bystanders to come and maybe help out and see what exactly is wrong. I'm not sure if they were asking for the stretcher. Yeah, it might have been wrong actually. I think we're closer to half-time than thought.
Yeah, they might call it.
We do have, I think, about 3 minutes or so until half-time. And a bit of a pause to what's been a pretty good game so far as well. Both teams going back and forth. First goal coming to Laura Hall, the only goal of the game. She had a chance early on as well that took a little bit of a save from Jess Sanderson in goal to deny her. He ended up hitting the post and bouncing out. But then not too long later, Georgia Little found a nice little ball in behind the South Wallsend defence. Jess Sanderson then came out and with a 50-50 between her and Pisani, popped up nicely to Hall, and she ended up bagging that goal that she was after, putting her team in front. I guess while we have a break here on Bar TV Sports from the action on the field, as Gabby Deacon is being attended to by numerous people, hopefully nothing too serious over there, although it's not looking entirely great. But Libya is great nonetheless, isn't it, to be able to bring the best of women's football that we know in the Hunter that we've seen for the last few years, to be able to showcase it on a scale like Bar TV Sports, isn't it?
Yeah, we really appreciate it. I mean, women's football is growing every year, every day really, so it's really good to see that we're getting noticed and recognised for all our hard work, because we do put in the same amount as the boys.
Oh, I definitely have. I would not agree if I would not argue if I didn't, but it's great to be able to, at Wallsend now are coming back towards the bench. They might just call half-time early.
You'd think they would.
We'll have an early drinks break.
Seems quite serious. I hope she's all right.
Yeah, lots of people attending to her now.
Seems to be their ankle they're holding, is it?
Yeah, it's leg or ankle, potentially a knee. Like you said, it's brilliant to be able to showcase women's football. We know it's been great for the last couple of seasons. There's been some absolute incredible rivalries games over the past few years, and it's great that we can actually show some now, thanks to Bar TV Sports. Hopefully more to come in the future. As you said, it's been deserving for some time, I think, as well.
It's really good to see the football growing in Newcastle as well, and the girls actually wanting to stay in Newcastle rather than going to Sydney. The comp's really growing each season.
Where else can you see current Newcastle Jets players as well? They don't play in the NPL, do they?
Yeah.
So they do play here, though.
Exactly.
It's Hunter finds the forward back underway again. Deacon is on the sideline. And Hunter's still got the ball, looking for a ball across the face of goal. And with Gab Deacon on the sideline injured, her team is back level in this one.
It's a good goal there. Good ball by Calista Hunter.
1-1. And I think it was it MJ Mason in the end who
Yeah, I
popped it
think
away?
she got on the end of it.
Bit hard to see with this setting sun, this glaring sun for us, but nonetheless, less than 30 seconds after a bit of a break. A brilliant run from Kayla Hunter, a brilliant ball, and the easy shot from close range from MJ Mason to make it 1-1 here at the Gardens just before half-time, and that will change the team talks from both coaches. Laura Hall, though, trying to get her team maybe back in front. Phillips with a chance now. She's in on goal.
Oh,
Tried to just toe poke it past, but didn't really angle the toe poke, did she? Not sure if she was trying a chip there or maybe trying to get it to the right side with Jess Anderson in goal. Or maybe she just doesn't like her left foot. Still 1-1, and although we had a bit of a break while Gab Deakin is being attended to, still being attended to on the sideline, the game has definitely opened up here on the field. A nice searching ball looking for Mason. It's going to find it Wilson instead. It's going to win a corner. And South Wallsend piling on the pressure now as we head into the latter stages of the first half. And the game just restarting at frantic pace. We have back level here at the Gardens. And not long to go in this first half. Can you imagine if South Wallsend can bag a second to take the lead? Corner kick is in. It's a shot away, but it's gone wide. We do hope that Gabby Deakin is all right. All the best to her down there. Nice one-header there in the middle of the field. Let's see who really is out there. Phillips now popping it over the top, looking for Pisani. Brautigan with her foot back on the ball. Referee almost getting in the way, but she does well. Mason with it now. The 1-2 with Brautigan. Wasn't able to jump back on the end of that one. They're going to come back for a free kick, I think, on Brautigan. Daniel Redding just going to look it down the field. Battle over there between Georgia Little and Alice Munro. Kirsten Pearce is taking her time with it and playing it back to the keeper, Jess Sanderson. Dust flying out.
Yeah, it looks a bit dusty back there.
In the 6-yard box, and she's duffed the kick as well. Sophie Phillips now does it well to get a little toe on it. Pisani, she's still with it. Turns, still with the ball at her foot. Plays it back, Jess Evans. She's going to go for a long shot.
She has scored a couple from there.
Not today, though, unfortunately, so far. Hitting it wide on that occasion. And the referee says that is going to do us for the first half here at the Gardens. WPL match, the Wallsend derby between Wallsend and South Wallsend. The score is 1-1. An early goal to Laura Hall, or early-ish goal to Laura Hall. Jumping on the rebound of a 50-50 challenge between Sanderson and Pisani to knock it home into an empty net to make it 1-0, but then following on from Gabby Deakin's injury, there was a bit of a pause, and then straight off that momentary break, straight back into it, and Kayla Hunter with a great ball across the face of goal, giving it to MJ Mason to make it 1-1, and we do go into the halftime break now. locked level here at the Gardens. Libby, what's your thoughts on that first half that you've seen?
I think 1-all's a fair call on the score there. I think it's been a pretty good half, really, from both teams. It'll be interesting to see who comes out in the second half, and I think that's where the game will be won. Who comes out in the second half raring, ready to go.
Yes, we did say the possession was pretty evenly split throughout the game.
It's been pretty even.
We are going to have a break, though, just as the players will do. So we'll be back in just one moment here on Bar TV Sports. It is 1-all here at the Gardens. Make sure you come back for the second half because it's going to be an absolute cracker here.
Half-time score is currently Wallsend 1, South Wallsend 1. And the 100 club has been drawn. It's won by number 2, Danny Byatt. So Danny at the moment is actually playing up at Cook Park, just up the hill. So we'll make sure the 100 gets to him. If there are any Wallsend parents still here that haven't filled out their and players that haven't filled out their wellbeing survey, you can head down to the canteen, there's some forms down there. Head down there and fill them out for us. It'd be greatly appreciated. I'd like to take this opportunity to invite all players and spectators back to Wallsend Diggers this afternoon for the traditional after-match drinks. So once the first grade game is finished, you can head back to Wallsend Diggers into the main bar area for dinner and drinks. match officials as they come back out to start the second half.
And welcome back to the Gardens here today. This held Women's Premier League clash, the derby clash between South Wallsend and Wallsend here. It is locked 1 apiece, and it makes for an absolute blockbuster, I think, for the second half. We've already seen a couple of goals, some well-taken goals both sides. An unfortunate injury as well, though, to Gabby Deacon, changing the game a little bit and holding up play, which was extremely unfortunate for her. Coming on in her stead is Sam Lazarowski. She's in number 28 for South Wallsend as both teams are ready to go once again. My name is Quentin Connors. Thank you for rejoining us once again here on Bar TV Sports. I'm joined by usually on the field Wallsend star Libby Copus-Brown.
It's a little bit different.
In the commentary box with me. Newcastle Jet star as well from this season and the last few seasons as well. Comes into the box, potentially a chance early on in the second half here for Wallsend if they can get a shot away. They can't. And that one just shanked over the byline there, so a corner kick to come for Wallsend, an early corner kick. Second half to come, last 40 minutes to come. Libby, where do you see it going? Try not to be too biased in your opinion, but what's your tip for the score, for the final score?
I think the next goal will be very important. The next goal will change the game, I believe.
Georgia Little, she crosses it in the box, rise as well. I think it was Alesha Clifford, I think. They're wanting another corner, and they're going to get one as well. There's another person down in the box as well.
This is the first season where we've actually got a bit of height in our team as well, so.
Kirsten Pierce, she's on the ground and she doesn't look to be in great stead at the moment, which is a real shame if she has to go off, but she's getting back to her feet a bit gingerly at the moment.
She was limping a bit in the first half.
Maybe an injury she's carried into this game as ball comes in once again. It's gone to the back stick. It's Laura Hall who kind of ran into the ball, didn't really get a shot away. She tried to bundle it into the goal instead, but it was almost cleared off the line, I thought, but a goal kick was called nonetheless. And so your tip for the game, you think maybe the next goal scorer might win this one?
Yep.
Well, there you have it. Libby Copus-Brown putting her neck on the line with a tip. Lazarowski, she knocks it back and it's going to just go slowly over the sideline with South Wallsend. Thought Holly Aiden probably could have got to that one and kept it in if she...
Yeah, I thought the same there.
May not have known that it came off her team last, but they collect it back nonetheless and thought maybe it was going to be called back there for a free kick on Georgia Little. Pierce smacks it into her own teammate there, Monroe, and Aiton now trying to thread the needle through to Pisani. O'Brien, the captain. Pisani with a foot on the ball once again, trying to knock it to an open teammate. It was Phillips running through. Nickel with it now. Looking for someone to give it to. She finds Georgia Little. Georgia Little finding Pisani. Thought she might have been offside. There was calls for it, but she is on. Got time to cross it into the box now too. She cuts it back on the edge. Evans. Potentially a chance for Little now as well. Can she get a foot away? Maybe calls for a penalty. Referee waves him away.
Not sure about that one.
Libby saying maybe a penalty. hoping it was a penalty nonetheless, I can imagine. No call given though, and Aiton now with it. She's still battling for it with Munro, and she loses out in the end with a free kick.
Good bit of play there by Wallsend.
Wallsend starting the second half well, starting the second half quickly at the moment. Maybe South Wallsend just wanting to slow it down a bit and try and get their breath back. Been peppered early on in this second half. Bit of a higher touch there from Georgia Little. I think it came a bit faster than she was expecting it. Pisani now trying to get round Munro.
Good cover there by Alice.
Nice defense there. Pisani did get the ball in the end back, and now she wins the throw in. I've talked about the short history between these sides, but a tense history nonetheless. Last time South Wallsend won a derby match was back in June of 2016, almost 3 years ago. Didn't win in 2018. Georgia Little there in front of the home dugout. She's back with her foot on the ball again. Munro. Brautigan now trying to take on Nickel there, does so successfully, and then tries to find Jane Mason. She put the pressure on Clifford, and I think she's won a corner there. She has. (2017) between these two sides, 2 draws as well, 2 all, 1 all. That 1 all draw was the last time it was at the Gardens. These two teams played. So a fair few draws have been played out between the two rivals. There's a ball now crossed into the front end of the 6-yard box. Yeah, get another go out. Wilson. She's got a bit of time this time as well, and she takes on instead. Keeps going with it. She gets a crossover now. No one there to answer her call.
Good bit of play there by Erin.
It stayed in. There's still a chance. It's Brautigan. It's in. Well, Danielle Redding got a hand to it, but it wasn't enough. And South Wallsend, they're 2-1 ahead now. They've turned the tide and they're in the lead.
Erin did really well there, beating both players.
She put the Wallsend defence at 6s and 7s, and although her initial cross didn't find a foot, the second cross did. Found Ash Brautigan getting another goal, adding to her impressive tally now. She's sitting at 14 goals for the season.
This is for Wallsend 1, South Wallsend 2.
More importantly, Wallsend are behind now. Back on the front foot again, Pisani with it down near the corner. Good little pass there to Georgia Little. She might be able to cross away. It's going to pop back out, is it? Phillips was unable to get a shot away, kind of just deflected into her. And although Wallsend, we were just saying, Wallsend have started the second half really well on the front foot, getting at the South Wallsend attack, but, or the defence, I should say, South Wallsend's attack, only really had one chance and Ash Brautigan took it. And like you said, Libby, she has that potential though. She's one of those players that just, you can't give an inch.
Yep. Oh, push in the back.
I thought there was going to be a free kick there. No, not given in the end. Maybe justice was served as Sophie O'Brien gets her foot back on the ball. Little. No free kick again called, and some of the home fans around us are not happy with it. Lazarowski now, she's going to try and find a ball into MJ Mason. She's trying to use her speed to get in behind the Clifford. She finds it in the end. She may have been held back. He's going to have to receive a free kick, and what colour card is this going to be? Just a yellow one. Well.
She had to make that tackle. Very experienced, Fatty.
Well, that's potentially, we know with the new rules of dog sale court that has called it, just outside the box, that if you are the last offender,
Yeah, she was lucky there.
Yeah, you do receive a red if you're outside the box. If you're inside the box, you get a yellow, and the penalty is your...
She had to make it, though.
Yeah, the penalty is your reward, but that time, given a yellow card, so... I know you're Wallsend through and through, Libby, but I think that probably should have been a red. I think the Devils should be down to 10 players at the moment, but nonetheless, Alesha Clifford still in the field.
It's a good area for a free kick.
Alesha Brautigan, she's standing behind it. She will be the one to take it, and you would think she's going to go for goal. It's a good free kick, and it's in the back of the net.
It's a great free kick.
Unbelievable from Brautigan. And the celebration doesn't go according to plan, though. Not as good as the free kick was. And well, she shows her class just outside the box and just nails it in the corner. 3-1 now. The game has just completely turned in South Wallsend's favour.
Well, I didn't expect this.
We did say just only minutes earlier, I said to you that you just can't give her an inch, and
Yep.
that's basically what she had on that free kick attempt. Give her an inch and she'll take a mile, and that's what she did. She's now got a double from this game, takes the tally to 15. Well, 18, I thought, might have been shaping up to go for goal there.
Oh, bit of
Pisani,
miscommunication.
she's got her foot back on the ball again, and Phillips just a bit of a hopeful shot. No real power behind it. And in the space of about 10 minutes in this second half, it has been completely frantic from both teams. However, South Wallsend have taken their chances. Wash Brautigan really has taken the chances, and it's 3-1 now to the Wolves, or the Wolfies as they go by as well. And they've completely turned this game around in their favour. The Red Devils, the home side, they are behind and trailing. Despite the fact that their attackers looked pretty potent in this first half. Well, the second half, I mean, the first few minutes of this second half. There's a free kick now coming to Jess Evans there, just behind halfway. South Wallsend, if they do win this one, it'll be their first derby win, the first Wallsend derby win since 2016. It's almost been 3 years since they last beat Wallsend. Ash Brautigan now, she's doing well to get at them, and now finds a ball over to Mason. Mason might try and get around the defence. She can't, though, and then fouls. No card given, though. Fouling Sophie O'Brien there, the captain of Wallsend. South Wallsend have actually only won 2 derbies since joining the competition. Nice bit of trickery there in the middle of the field. Now, free kick given to South Wallsend. I'm not exactly sure if that was a deserved free kick. And we only just saw, just minutes prior, Ash Brautigan.
Yeah, you don't want to be giving away free kicks there.
No, she slotted home brilliantly just minutes earlier. Maybe this one's a bit further out than she would like, a bit further out than the first one. But nonetheless, you wouldn't put it past her. Will she go for goal? She does. This one just safely nestles in the hands of Reading in goals. Reading now kicking it down the field. Someone hitting Pisani, and I think that one should have gone the other way to...
Oh no, it's just changed it back.
And now it's been...
I was going to say that's an interesting call.
Maybe she heard me.
Yeah.
Well, there's been quite a bit of heated battles across the field to begin this second half. Pisani with it now. She's got Laura Hall coming on her outside, and she Looked like she was hoping to give it to her.
Oh,
Ends
she's
up
managed
with
to get it.
anyway. She gets a toe into Phillips. Can she get there first?
Oh,
Well, I don't think she got there first. I think it was maybe Sanderson hitting it into Phillips, but nonetheless, it's gone over the byline.
Laura did well to get on the end of that.
She's been looking dangerous, hasn't she, Laura Hall? She obviously scored the only goal for Wallsend, but when she has the ball at her feet, Wallsend do look dangerous. South Wallsend have it now, though. Running with it at pace. So Erin Wilson now, she comes out to Munro. Munro looking for a searching ball to Brautigan. Finds Brautigan in the end. She's going to go for goal. Trying to complete what would be a very deserving hat-trick. It seems MJ Mason just on the sideline for South Wallsend. I think she just maybe had some Panadol. Maybe she's battling a bit of a headache.
Maybe.
Maybe the heat getting to her. Another South Wallsend player down on the ground now. Hasn't been the best of runs for the Wolves in terms of injury so far this game. It's all little niggles. Not sure who it is down there in the middle of the field. Could be Erin Wilson, actually.
Is it Maddie Thornton?
Or maybe Maddie Thornton. Hard to see with this glaring sun, but as the although it was quite cold when I arrived at the ground today, there's not.
It's definitely not anymore.
No, not seeming that way at all now with the sun coming over as it sets. Hopefully not impairing your vision too much at home watching, where you're probably much cooler than we are at the moment. It'll be a bit of an interesting second half, especially for your team. I mean, coming out looking probably the better team in just the early minutes, the first 5 minutes or so, but goals going against you at the moment.
Yeah.
And now you're trailing. What would you be saying to the girls in this situation now?
Keep playing how they're playing. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. Southie had 2 good opportunities and they put them away, so I'll give that to them. But if we want it, we can turn it around.
So you wouldn't be changing too much at the moment? You'd be continuing to play your own game?
Yep.
It seems like it could be Maddie Thornton after all.
Doesn't look too good either. At least she's walking off though.
Oh, well, it looks like South Wallsend are going to have to make another substitution. Their second of the day, and the second because of injury, which is
it's not what you want
to see. No. I've already seen Gabby Deacon be forced from the field because of an injury. And this now is going to be Georgie Carr coming onto the field. In number 27 for the South Wallsend, getting a bit of a talk of sorts from MJ Mason. Should we looking like she's going to go play up front, Carr. Sanderson knocking the ball down as we get the play back underway here at the Gardens. South Wallsend leading at the moment, 3-1. Wallsend needing to turn it around quickly. Pisani doing well, wins a free kick there.
Not sure about that one, but we'll take it.
I was going to say, I'm not exactly sure what that was for then. There's been some calls that have gone the other way from Wallsend today. That one going for them. Alesha Clifford behind the ball now. Need to probably put this one into the danger area, right on the penalty spot. We go straight into the wall instead. She'll get the rebound.
Oh.
And the rebound is not much better though, unfortunately. High, wide, and not handsome at all. It seems just maybe that final pass or final 2 passes from Wallsend, maybe just lacking a little bit at the moment in terms of just getting in those goal-scoring areas. Goal kick going wide and throw in for Wallsend now. Jess Evans being hustled over there by Eliza Tupper.
Looks like Fatty's pushed higher up in the midfield, and Holly's stepped back into centre back, unless it's just temporary.
Maybe doing the opposite of what you said and not making any changes. Coach Brad Jones making some alterations to try and maybe turn the tide around. Nice toe in there in the middle of the field from Evans, and Little doing good also. Finding Pisani now, but she's got South Wallsend defenders all around her. She can't keep it. Little does well. Can she keep it in? She does as well. Got time to cross it now. Crosses high. It's almost right on the goal line, I thought, but just over a bit to the right where she would have liked it. It's the top of the net.
She's a hard worker, Georgia Little.
She's hassling on that right wing, has been all game. The Devils. That bobble not serving well for Monroe, but she handles it regardless.
They did well there.
Now Sethi back on the front foot. Brautigan looking for Mason, almost finding her. Seems like she has got it in the end. Still there. Can she get a shot away? He's popped back out to Carr, but she shanks it over to the right now. And that volley just going wide there from Lazarowski. As you told me as well, Libby, former Wallsend player as well.
She was.
Plenty across the pitch at the moment that have played for both clubs. Brautigan with it now. She's going to go for goal. It's a dipping ball off the crossbar. And now just falls safely in the hands of Reading.
That was a great shot.
Well, she can breathe a sigh of relief after that one.
So can I.
A dipping shot from Ash Brautigan. It was hit hard. And almost dipped at the last minute as well. Just swooped back down and thought it might have maybe hit the underside of the crossbar, but in the end, the crossbar denies her from completing a hat-trick. Should be, I think, her third hat-trick for the season so far, if she can score another one here today at the Gardens.
I think she'll be a contender for the Golden Boot.
Definitely giving Tara Andrews and Jenna Kingsley a bit of a run for their money this season. Monroe feeds it to the feet of Brautigan now. Brautigan trying to find Mason on the back stick there, but too close to Reading, and quickly throws it back on the front foot for Wallsend. Wallsend struggling to keep possession at the moment. Seems to maybe take their time a little bit with it now and play a bit more to the feet of one another. Evans has got it. Now it's Little. The Little leaves it. Not sure if that was intentional or not, but lovely work nonetheless. Nick Aldo can't get a decent enough cross in. Brautigan coming swooping down on the outside, and she's done well to get round O'Brien. Still battling with her and still has the ball. Now taking on Aiton, but Aiton does well to get a toe in.
Good tackle there.
She was the last line of defence, really. If she got beaten there, it was Brautigan versus Reading, one-on-one. Carr trying to flick it over.
Oh.
Maybe this is what Wallsend need a bit of, as I say that, the curse of the commentator, they give the ball away. A free kick coming now. Not sure if that was for handball or not, but a quick free kick nonetheless. It's MJ Mason now. Did she get a shot away? Good pressure from Aiton there to put her off, and get a toe in to save any kind of danger.
It's a good ball by Ash.
Pressure mounting now, I'd say, on Wallsend. How are you feeling, Libby, at the moment? A bit nervous, I can imagine.
Yeah.
As the corner kick comes in, it's just past the penalty spot. Brautigan doesn't really get a shot away. Back out to the corner kick taker there. Wilson with it. Wilson just with her back towards the goal she wants to go to, and in the end, just knocks it over the sideline. So just over the midway point.
Oh, wasting time.
The second half. Just over 20 minutes to go, and there's going to be a substitution being made now for Wallsend.
Substitution for Wallsend. Coming off the field, number 3, Danielle Nicol. Replaced by number 16, Jess Asixar.
Nicol, she's done well as well in that right back position. She's going to be taking a break. And 16, Jess now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this Asixar or Axia?
Asixar, I think.
Asixar.
She'll probably punch me if I'm wrong.
A commentator's nightmare, that one. But we'll go with Asixar nonetheless. Some quick football here from Brautigan in the middle of the field there. Hard to see with the glaring sun, as we've mentioned multiple times already. Obviously viewers at home can't see us, Libby, but we both got our hands over our eyes. I've got a hat and sunglasses and still can't see. Hopefully the viewers at home can, though, because it is a terrific game happening in front of us at the moment, and still very much in the balance if Wallsend can find a way to get a second goal sooner rather than later. With a late challenge there from Lua Hall. And Kobe Ferguson a little bit late there and just taking out the toes.
Maybe a bit of frustration.
Bit of a hopeful shot there. Being smacked out. MJ Mason. Lazarowski on the volley there, just hitting it towards her bench area. And as we look at this game, there's only about 20 minutes left in this Wallsend derby. It's Aiton with it. Libby, where do you think has been the reason for Southie of being able to get those goals? Do you think it's just been taking the chances, or do you think there's been anything more to it than that? Or
yeah, I think we created a couple of chances in the first half and probably didn't put them away, whereas Southie have created a couple in the first 10 minutes of this second half and they've managed to put them away. I think when we get up in the final third, we're struggling to find the next pass. They seem to be outnumbering us as soon as we get anywhere near their 18-yard. Maybe because we're defending more this half.
There's a lot of pressure being put on to your defence at the moment, Wallsend. Needing to find a goal soon, as South Wallsend are kind of just taking their time now. We've seen the game. There's no need to push us forward as they probably are at the moment. Maybe trying to look for that finishing blow. MJ Mason trying to get past the defender, and it's going to go too long though.
I think we definitely need to score a goal in the next 5 to 10 minutes if we want to turn this game around.
Well, you did say the first goal in the second half would probably win it. It looks like it's going to be true unless Wallsend can muster a late-ish comeback here in the second half. Although don't put it past them at all. I've seen them make plenty of opportunities so far this game, as you said. Probably pretty neck and neck in terms of opportunities created, but just class of Ash Brautigan shining through, and she wins a free kick there as also.
She's definitely made a difference in this game, Ash Brautigan.
She's definitely lifted in this second half, hasn't she?
Yeah.
She's getting her foot on the ball a lot in the first half, but wasn't going forward as much as she is now. And
she's taken control of the game.
really causing some havoc for Wallsend's defence. Free kick a bit far out. Kirsten Pearce now is going to jump on the end of it. Not sure if she's going to try and dink it over the top into the area, or she might go for goal. We go with the dink. Headed away from Tippett though, and Holly Ayton now trying to get up for it. She won it in the end, and it falls back out to the opposition. It looks to be offside. It is going to be offside, but I think the ball went out before she touched it, so it's going to be a throw-in, I think. Well, I'm not sure if Danielle Redding knows that yet. Now she knows. She'll run back to her goal box. They're doing well there to win back the throw-in, as you said. She's moved into that midfield position now, swapping with Holly Ayton. And we're just trying to get forward a little bit, get a foot on the ball. That header, though, has gone the wrong way from her, but yeah, and Holly Ayton with a bit of pressure on. She gets enough of the header, though, to back to her keeper. Enjoyed the little being hit in the back there by
Alice Munro, yeah.
The scores stay the same, as we said. It will be the first time South Wallsend have beaten Wallsend since June of 2016, almost 3 years. Wallsend have had a stranglehold on the Wallsend derby, the Wallsend warfare. It's that one trying to find Pisani, but she wasn't able to control it. Maybe the streak of the undefeated streak of the Wallsend derby for the Red Devils may be coming to an end today. 6-8 knocks it down the ground. Going out though. You are on Bar TV Sports with Quentin Connors and Libby Copas-Brown, usually out on the field, Wallsend star, but it's Kobe Ferguson looking for a long ball over to Mason. Can she keep that one in? She can't though. Right thought, just not the right execution.
Looks like Brad's getting 2 subs ready to go on for Wallsend.
They're trying to reinvigorate, put life into the team. Late push to try and find 2 goals to equalise this game. 3 points are important in terms of the ladder as well, as Tippett's just going to hope that one goes over the edge, but it doesn't, and it's going to be a corner instead. A loss for Wallsend today would put 6 points between them and their rival South Wallsend, who sit above them in 3rd. I think more importantly as well, depending on Merriweather's result.
Who have they got today?
I don't know. I'll have to do a quick check on the old Twitter and see.
I think it might be Mid-North Coast, maybe.
A win for them will see them jump you guys into that 4th spot. So two goals are vital. It'll be another Wallsend derby, not too far in the future though. It's a catch-up game from round 3 takes place. Only in early June, as those substitutions you were talking about, Libby, are going to be made now. There's Ellie Jones in number 21, 31 Kiara Lewis, both looking to come onto the field, and coming off the field looks like Kayla Pisani is going to be one of those changes.
Number 21,
Sophie Phillips.
Number 31, Kiara Lewis. They are replacing number 23, Sophie Phillips, and number 9, Kayla Pisani.
Do you think those two changes will maybe potentially change the game, Libby?
Fresh legs. again, it's good to see the reserves getting on first grade.
We also, beforehand in your, before the game started, the sprinklers come on now around the short side of the ground. Wouldn't mind if those hit us at the moment with this heat
about to say
going
that.
on. There's a bit of a battle over the far side as falls back out, and Aiden's got a bit of time on her hands, finds a foot of Clifford. Clifford with a sliding challenge there, and it pops back out for Wallsend. Carr with the ball at her feet now. Hooks it up into the air to Rozovsky, and she tries a bit of a chip to get around Xia, but she wins the ball back. Going to come. You're actually coaching the 20s today as well, Libby?
I was. It was nice to see them get a win. They deserved it today.
And is that something that you're hoping to continue pursuing in the future, coaching, or is it just something to fill in time at the moment, or just seeing how it goes?
Just to fill in time at the moment. Still want to focus on myself and playing wise, but maybe in the future when my career's over.
Coach Copus Brown, maybe. I'll be coaching Wallsend one day.
Not sure who that is down. Georgia Little, is it?
Georgia Little. She's a bit ginger to get back to her feet, but she has done so. Maybe just a bit of winded, it seems like, trying to get the air back into the lungs.
It's been a good battle between Georgia and Alice.
There's been multiple good battles, hasn't there, across the field. Defenders, attackers, midfielders as well. And they're a drop ball that you don't often see
I was about
these
to say
days,
that.
where they actually both go for the ball, but it's good to see. Bit of a throwback to the junior days of old.
Again, that comes back to Fatty's experience. We're down by 2, so...
No time for niceties, is it?
Exactly.
South Wallsend now with the far side with the ball at their feet. They're just taking the pace out of the game a little bit at the moment, just slowing things down with their passing, controlling the pace of the game. Brautigan with it. She beats Georgia Little and then hooks it to the far side of the field. A little flick on there from Tupper, but
It's a good idea.
Mason wasn't on the same page. Wallsend made all their substitutions now with those 2 new fresh faces of Lewis and Jones coming onto the field. South Wallsend having another one to be made still. Mason with the ball now at that far side of the field, and she wins herself a corner from it now. As we enter the last 10 minutes of play here at the Gardens.
It's not what I want to hear.
Time running out for your side, Libby. I can imagine it's only making you even more frustrated to be sitting up here. But
Not wrong. I'll give it to Southie. They came out well in the second half.
2 goals to Ash Brautigan, really just changing the game, being the difference. Good ball coming in now to Redding. She's had to batter it away. And a little toe in there as well to clear it. Ball's come back into the box though, and Clifford just getting in front of Redding there to clear it, but there's no problems in the end. And maybe a quick break here. Georgia Little is a bit too far for her to reach out and collect it. Brautigan, she's onside. Seems like she's going to take on Alesha there, but corner kick to come once again, and they'll probably take their time. Great to be able to bring you the best of women's football in the region to a far greater spectrum than just the ones here in the stands, here live on Bar TV Sports. Some brilliant football being showcased today and throughout the season. Wilson crosses it into the box, looking for a header. Only found a Wallsend header though. South Wallsend back on the ball. They're just keeping it at the moment. Jess Evans doing well and wins a free kick.
She did well there.
Deservingly. Surprisingly, there's only the 1 yellow card I think we've seen today coming to Alesha Clifford. Surprising because there has been quite a few hefty challenges, as there always is in in the
Yeah.
Wallsend derby.
I think the ref's done well today.
Reading knocking you down, only finding South Wallsend. George Little, just keep it in, does keep it in.
No, that was unlucky.
Unfortunately, though, it's popped up into a hand. Sometimes you just want to wish your hands weren't there for football. Ferguson just easily jumping past there and then collects it once again from Brautigan. Now goes for goal with it, maybe looking for a bit of a chipped effort over Reading, but it sails wide.
She can also hit it from there, Kobe Ferguson.
With the scores looking like they are, 3-1 to South Wallsend with not long to go in the match here at the Gardens. It will be the first time if the scores remain the same, unless we see a late comeback. Jones, she's done well there to try and get over that far side to Lewis. It goes too far, but the scores do stay the same. This will be 3 points to South Wallsend. They will move 6 points clear of Wallsend. Depending on Merriweather's result today, it may mean that Wallsend are dispatched from the top 4 temporarily at the moment. It will also be the first time that, as I've said a few times, that South Wallsend have won over Wallsend in the Wallsend derby since June 2016. Free kick there coming to Georgia Little. She's getting battered at the moment, isn't she? From
She's
the
getting
opposition.
beaten about.
She's doing extremely well to carry on and persevere through it.
She's always one to put her body on the line.
And despite the scoreline at the moment, she's had a good game as well. Probably been one of the better players for Wallsend so far today, I'd say. More dangerous, definitely, I think. Pisani as well when she was on the field. Holly Ayton now with a bit of a chipped effort. Bit too long though. Goal kick to come for South Wallsend, and by the looks of things, 3 points as well. So going down in the first half, midway through the first half, it was Laura Hall who popped up with a goal. With a 50-50 effort from Jess Sanderson, fell nicely for her with an open net, and she made no mistake. She did well, has done well today, but chance here, maybe a chance there. I'm not sure if it was Mason, I think it was. Just trying to get a pass Reading, but Reading did well to beat a brick wall just then. As I said, an early goal to Wallsend in that first half, but South Wallsend bounced back in the just before the break. Scored a goal with only a couple of minutes to go, making it 1-1 into half time, and then the second half as well. A brilliant ball from, they found Ash Brautigan in the box. She put it into the goal well, despite an original save from Danielle Redding that fell in the goal. And the third just came from some Brautigan magic of sorts from the free kick.
It's a quality free kick.
And it's led us to this scoreline now, 3-1, and hasn't been any major chances probably since. Wallsend have struggled to get past and really make any viable opportunities in this second half, especially after that third goal. They look dangerous at times, but just haven't been able to find that killer blow often. Into the middle of the field, but only Brautigan's there, and Ayton gets a toe in though, and Jess Evans has done well to keep it. She finds Jones, but Jones is just hoping for somehow that was going to find Laura Hall. An unfortunate position that your Wallsend find themselves in at the moment, Libby, but
Yeah, look, if you asked me in the first half who was going to win, I probably would have said Wallsend, but give it to Southie. They've came out well in the second half and probably outplayed us, to be fair.
not to be biased as well, but I think Wallsend have also still played a great game. It's just been those little moments, as we talked about, that Brautigan have taken that maybe the Wallsend side haven't been able to take. I mean, do you think the girls will still take a lot of pride in their performance today?
Yeah, I think they performed quite well.
That's going to be a definite free kick to Georgia Little. Still no cards really been given out to the South Wallsend team, despite the fact that Georgia Little has been
on the ground every 5 minutes.
Yes. Been a bit of a ragdoll at the moment in the last couple of minutes.
Right.
There's no substitutions left to be made for Wallsend either, which is a bit of a potential problem, but that's not the main issue. The main issue is that hopefully Georgia Little is all right.
Looks like it might be a knee.
We just saw earlier Gabby Deacon having to go off due to injury.
Hopefully it's just a niggle.
It looks like she's being helped to... I thought she was going to be... For a second, I thought she was going to be helped off the field, but no, it looks like she's going to be staying and soldiering on. She's had a good game so far today, Georgia Little. It'd be a shame for her to end it on this note, despite the fact that her team are down 3-1 at the moment.
She's a trooper, I'm sure she'll come back on. Be good to get a goal back here.
Well, only minutes to go, but would change the complexity of the game. Free kick to come. Fixer behind the free kick. It's into the dangerous area. Finds Clifford. She wasn't able to angle that one or get too much power behind it.
Looks like Georgia's back on.
It's great to see. Don't want any more injuries happening in this one. As
Definitely not. We've got enough already.
South Wallsend look like they might be making their final change of the game as we wrap down the final minutes. Freya Clifton looks like she's going to be the girl coming on, number 25, but let's keep playing on. Brautigan with it. I'm not sure if that hit her back or the back of her legs,
Yeah,
but
I don't know if she saw that coming.
it's always a perfect ball to her teammate there. It's given away cheaply there, and Mason with the ball. She's turned well. Now she's shot. For a second there, I thought they might have found the inside of the post, but sprays wide across the face of the goal. And that substitution is going to be made now. Clifton coming onto the field. Coming off the field is actually going to be one of the girls that came onto the field as a substitute.
It's interesting.
Carr.
Maybe she's carrying an injury.
Potentially may have played in the game previously, did she?
Yeah, she played a full game.
She's already doing overtime, so maybe best to give her a break and not tire her out too much. We're back underway here at the Gardens. Clifford now trying to find Little, but only found Monroe. Rescue Brautigan with it now. Holding off Laura Hall, but getting a free kick. Just outside the box as well. Maybe a bit too far to the side to be a goal scoring opportunity.
You never know.
Toss this one in. As we wind down the last few minutes of this game. This brilliant Herald WPL match that we've seen today between two great opponents. Seen some absolutely terrific goals. Some tough challenges as well, and the Wallsend derby always is. Brautigan now gets it into the box. It's a bit long, in the end too long. Looking for Calista Hunter there on the far side of the field on the back stick. Now into stoppage time, so can't be much longer left, and hope quickly flying out the window now for Wallsend, unfortunately, Libby.
Yeah.
Going now, that far side. Clifford wins it back. Now it's going to stay in, is it? No, it's not going to stay in. It's going to be a throw-in, unfortunately. Just can't catch a break, unfortunately, going forward at the moment. Well, next week, Libby, you have another tough test of New Lambton.
Yeah.
Your side, how, without focusing too much on next week, while this game is still going on, but it's going to be tough, isn't it?
Yep, they're always tough. Maybe we can be the first team to beat them.
So far, they haven't even dropped any points, so
Yeah, they're undefeated so far.
here's hoping all the best for next week, but
I think Adamstown have them today.
they do, and we to see how that one pans out as well. Happening right as we speak, probably finishing up just as this game is about to as well. Do you think your girls have what it takes to beat them?
I definitely think so. I think we maybe could have gave it to them the first time round, but Tara Andrews makes such a difference. She's a bit like Ash Brautigan. If you give her a chance, she generally puts it away.
That one there not really cleared away, put into the corner, and Georgia Little just going to watch you go over the byline to win a free kick. I'll be hoping for just a late goal of sorts to try and change this scenario. And this one is a volley.
Still
Comes
in.
back over the far side. Little was offside, though, referee's going to say. And that is that here at the Gardens. And a 3-1 victory for South Wallsend here in the Wallsend derby. A brilliant fixture, really. Back and forth. Some tough challenges, some brilliant goals as well to add to it. But in the end, the Wolfies just too strong for the Devils, going up 3-1 and moving now 6 points clear of their rivals on the table, putting more pressure on New Lambton and Warners Bay up the top of the table. Wallsend, depending on the result of Merweather's game, will probably fall out of the top 4 after this weekend. But nonetheless, a great performance that they put in against South Wallsend. It was an early goal, Laura Hall scoring to make it 1-0. Then a goal in the last few minutes of the first half to MJ Mason making it 1-1, and then Ash Brautigan just 2 quick goals in the second half. Some brilliant goals to make it 3-1, and that was the end of it after all that. But Libby, what's your thoughts on that one? Unfortunate result for your team, but you know, you have to give it to South Wallsend, don't you?
Yeah, they did give it to us in the second half, and credit to Ash Brautigan putting away both of those goals. But to be fair, across the whole game, I think it was pretty close. But they definitely did get an edge on us in the last 45 minutes.
If you had to pick a player of the match, would you be giving it to Ash?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's hard to go past her. But thank you for joining me on the call today. I muchly
Thanks for
appreciate
having me.
it. Hopefully you're back sooner rather than later and you're out of that moon boot. We'll have to hopefully just wait and see.
Yeah, hopefully.
Well, all the best for the season nonetheless. But for everyone else, thank you so much for watching. We appreciate it as always. Make sure you've liked Bar TV Sports on Facebook as well as the Herald Women's Premier League to watch all the best in women's football going forward in the region. There are a few more games to be live streamed throughout the season. Until then, I've been Quentin Connors. Thank you for joining us. We will see you later.